Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about someone that you may not have known of. A person by the name of Pablo, aka Ronnie, has a very confusing and puzzling backstory as to why he did the actions he did. You may be wondering, what did he did and why am I talking about this guy? Well, let's start off with the what. What did he do that was necessarily bad? Well, actually, how I stumbled across this information was the YouTuber named Young King Dav and his exposure video on the person named Pablo. I'll say this about his video, I actually liked that video because he went in depth about it. He showed evidence, screenshots, and recordings that the person did this and that. And I also like the usage of his character, which is Godzilla. I mean, sure, yeah, it's just Godzilla, but I thought it was cool. So I want to give a shout out to Young King Dav for that video. I thought it was pretty cool. And I want to give another shout out to another key party of this whole case by the name of Mazilla Mason, because he actually helped me out with this information. So enough of that yapping out of the way, let's actually get into the story of Pablo's doings and the account of what Mazilla said to me.
So this started a long time ago that he basically commented on my video saying, I heard you like him young. And then I just blocked him. Like, this was like way before when there was a drama that I'm by myself involved in. So yeah, I didn't take him seriously at first, but then one day I honestly forgot what happened next, but I found out that there was hold on. I know what happened. So basically, like, I was in Kobe the Gamer's server, and then there was this fake me. There was this person pretending to be me sending that server, and that person got banned, and of course he sent me a friend request, and I did ended up accepting it, and then he did a lot of like stuff that I did not do, like mostly saying the N-word and sending. Now, despite him being part of the server raiders, he did actually raid Thunderstrike's project server with the other gore senders using that alt account of his, which Samzilla have to put me in the server just to show to everyone that I am the real one, and that person has an alt account that looks similar to mine. He also made alt accounts of Kobe the Gamer and Samzilla as well, and plus he tried countering the exposed video by making an alt account by the name of Ronnie and made an exposed video on that account to try and, like, you know, if you know what I mean, sorry.
I know some people are probably wondering, well, maybe that's actually him and not an alt account. However, I do have a screenshot to prove otherwise, that indeed that was an alt account from Pablo. Because in the screenshot, you can see that there's clearly two Masons here. However, obviously one of them is not the real Mason and just an alt account pretending to be Mason. And in Pablo's alt account, Ronnie, they made a quote-unquote counter-exposed video basically showing all of Pablo's or Ronnie's alt accounts pretending to be Mason's friends and all. And what's worse is that Ronnie is trying to say that Mason and his friends' places of where they live. And I gotta wonder, why is this necessary to tell to the public? Because let's say hypothetically, they did show disturbing imageries or videos in the server and everyone didn't like that. Why is it necessary to tell everyone, oh yeah, this is where they live, by the way? Because not only are you spreading misinformation, Mr. Pablo, but you're also indulging in the fact that these people who might think, oh, these people are bad, I'm gonna go harass them, I'm gonna go, you know, try to do something to where they live, because you're pretty much enticing that idea with harassers and stuff because you are trying to showcase where they live. Now thank God Pablo didn't actually found where they live, and yet again this proves that Pablo is trying to do something malicious towards these people who didn't really do anything to him. And the following voice message I got from Mason was pretty upsetting to hear.
But the fact that he tried going as far as destroying me further actually made me scared.
And what's worse is that Mason is under 18, meaning he's still a high schooler. So not only is Pablo trying to destroy a young person, but he's also trying to dox them and trying to do slander on this young man right here. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty messed up. And let's say that those screenshots was real, you know, the evidence was real, that Mason said all that. I'm not trying to justify those actions if they were hypothetically real, but you gotta give the person some slack. Sure, you should teach them, hey, that's not cool, but you shouldn't go out of your way to harass and try to like show where they live, cause you know, that's a little way too far. But again, I'm not trying to say Pablo's evidence is quote-unquote real, but I'm just saying that the youth these days will do something stupid. They of course would say something stupid. Of course, you should reprimand them and teach them a lesson of why you shouldn't do that, but you should cut them some slack. Attempting to slander a high schooler and to dox their location is very irresponsible and pretty pathetic. I highly doubt that Pablo is a high schooler considering the things they're trying to do and accomplish, but even if they are, I would kindly ask Pablo or Ronnie or whatever they are to please stop what they're doing right now and just drop it, because you may face legal repercussions from the parties you have offended. And I heard that Pablo supports another person by the name of Saviour, and I'm not going to go too in-depth about Saviour's story, but basically Saviour did something similar to Pablo. If you wish to learn about Saviour's history, I would recommend that you guys watch Ordinary Destroyer, where they briefly go over Saviour's history. But with that being said, in the end of the day, I don't advocate that you go harass the people who are mentioned in this video, nor do I believe that you should do scummy things like Pablo did. My intention of this video is to shine light on this person. And as to the reason why I even made this video is because I want to help smaller people than me, people who are not heard of, people who do commentary videos or do exposure videos that are very smaller than me. So I just want to help out the little guy, you know? And ever since I found the exposure video on Pablo, I was intrigued and invested in helping these people out. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and thank you to those who helped me out with this case. It really means the most. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. And as always, I'm going to go back to the graves and tell you more wacky stories like this, because it's honestly bizarre that Pablo even did this. I have no idea why a troll would go this far, but whatever. They got exposed and they were facing the consequences of their actions. But yeah, I'm gonna go now, and as always, have a good night. Goodbye.